Hello, everyone. January's books for Book of the Month has dropped, so while it's not quite 2025 yet, I wanted to go through these. Happy New Year's Day Eve to everyone out there. There are 6 selections, and this one, The Three Lives of Kate K. I've seen the cover of it, looks very familiar. I don't know much about it though. And then this one, The Favorites, was on my anticipated list of 2025, so I'm looking forward to that, but I'll get through these other ones as well to decide what my pick will be. So the first one is Andromeda by Therese Bowman. It's a literary fiction. The quick take is a publishing assistant and her boss form a complex relationship based on fervent ideals about art, culture, and power. And it says this book is highbrow, which honestly I probably won't really like, but we'll see. So it has multiple viewpoints. It's a book about books, which sometimes I enjoy, sometimes I don't. It is cerebral, so again, highbrow, and then under 200 pages. That could be nice, because something that's this cerebral, it'd probably be a slog if it was longer than that, but we'll see. The publishing house is anchored like a ship along Stockholm's main street, a large, bright building with an impressive rooftop terrace. The facade is a grid of wood and granite, flagged with a cursive R sway in the wind. R as in Radens. A young woman starts as an intern at this venerated institution, and over many years gains more and more responsibility for its authors and books, all under the supervision of Gunnar, publishing director of the most prestigious imprint behind the finest literature, Andromeda. Over time, their work relationship transforms into something neither of them can truly define, perhaps built on mutual trust, or is it something else? No content warnings. I don't know, is this supposed to be like a romance too? I'm not sure how I feel about a boss and like a romance like that, but I don't know, it does sound interesting, but I probably would not buy it. But I would probably read it like through the library. The next one is The Three Lives of Kate K by Kate Fagan, contemporary fiction. The quick take is a propulsive tale of buried secrets, hidden identities, and a reclusive author's journey to finally tell her own story. This also has multiple viewpoints, nonlinear timeline, LGBTQ plus themes, and writer's life. I do usually like books on writer's life. Nonlinear timeline sometimes can get me confused, but we'll see how this reads. Kate K knows how to craft a story. As the creator of a best-selling book trilogy that struck box office gold as a film series, she's one of the most successful authors of her generation. The thing is, Kate K doesn't really exist. She's never attended author events or granted any interviews. Her real identity has been a closely guarded secret until now. As a young adult, she and her best friend Amanda dreamed of escaping their difficult homes and moving to California to become movie stars. But the day before their grand adventure, a tragedy shattered their dreams, and Kate has been on the run ever since, taking on different names and charting a new future. But after a shocking revelation, Kate understands that returning home is the only way she'll be a whole person again. No content warnings. This one honestly does sound really interesting. I think I would like it a lot. I'm not sure I'll make it my book of the month though, but let's see. So next one is Babylonia by Constanza Casati. Sorry if I said that wrong. Historical fantasy. Says Kings Fall, Queens Rise. I do like that. A quick take is adventure, forbidden romance, and bloodshed abound in this epic retelling of an infamous ancient female ruler. And this says, not for the faint of heart, this book is gruesome. So it's probably not young adult, because the cover to me kind of seems young adult, but if it's that gruesome, hopefully it's not young adult. It's 400 plus pages, which makes sense since it's a fantasy. It has multiple viewpoints based on a classic and salacious. So again, this is not a young adult, it seems like. So let's see. Common woman, the governor she married, the king who loved them both. Babylonia, across the centuries, has become the embodiment of lust, excess, and dissolute power. In this world, you had to kill to be king, or in the case of Semiramis, an orphan raised on the outskirts of the empire, queen. Nothing about Semiramis's upbringing could have foretold her legacy, but when she meets a young representative of the new Assyrian king, a prophecy unfolds before her, one that puts her in the center of a brutal world and in the hearts of two men. Caught in the politics and viciousness of ancient Assyria, Semiramis trains in war and diplomacy. And with each move, she rises in rank, embroiled in a game of power, desire, love, and betrayal, until she can ascend to the only position that will ever keep her safe. Oh, it does have content warnings. This book contains scenes that depict sexual assault, domestic abuse, and suicide. Honestly, this sounds like. Oh, also by her is Clytemnestra. I've seen the cover of that. I've never read it. It does sound really interesting to me. I haven't read a lot of time periods like books about Babylon. Let's see the other options though before I decide on that, but it does sound really interesting. So this is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. It's contemporary fiction. It says, to the world they were a scandal, to each other an obsession. Elite figure skaters experience chemistry on and off the ice in this intoxicating tale of ambition, sabotage, and love. Romance, movie-ish, glamorous, and 400 plus pages. I love figure skating, so I kind of think I will probably get this since it was on my list of like books I really want to read too for the new year, but let's see. To the world they were a scandal, to each other an obsession. She might not have a famous name, funding, or family support, but Katerina Shaw has always known that she was destined to become an Olympic skater. When she meets Heath Rocha, a lonely kid stuck in the foster care system, their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. Clinging to skating and each other to escape their turbulent lives, Kat and Heath go from childhood sweethearts to champion ice dancers, captivating the world with their scorching chemistry, rebellious style, and roller coaster relationship, until a shocking incident at the Olympic Games brings their partnership to a sudden end. As the 10-year anniversary of their final skate approaches, an unauthorized documentary reignites the public obsession with Shaw and Rocha, claiming to uncover the real story through interviews with their closest friends and fiercest rivals. Kat wants nothing to do with the documentary, but she can't stand the thought of someone else defining her legacy either. So, after a decade of silence, she's telling her story, from the childhood tragedies that created her all consuming bond with Heath to the clash of desires that tore them apart. Sensational rumors have haunted their every step for years, but the truth may be even more shocking than the headlines. No content warnings. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this sounds like something I would really like a lot. It sounds like different than what I normally read too. So I'm really leaning towards that. But let's see what else there is. A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. It's a thriller. This is an early release, and they've had books by her before. Visiting her fiance's wealthy family provides answers to her forgotten past, but the truth always comes at a cost. This is psychological, family drama, nonlinear timeline, and graphic violence. I'm not sure I'm like in the mood for that, but we'll see. A Whirlwind Romance. When Theodora Scott met Connor, wealthy, charming, and a member of the powerful Dalton family, she fell in love in an instant. 6 months later, he's brought her to Idlewood, his family's isolated winter retreat, to win over his skeptical relatives. Stay away from Connor Dalton. Theo has tried to ignore the threatening messages on her phone, but she can't ignore the footprints in the snow outside the cabin window or the strange sense of familiarity she has about this place. Then, in a disused cabin, Theo finds something impossible, a photo of herself as a child, a photo taken at Idlewood. Ooh, I've been here before. Theo has almost no recollection of her earliest years, but now she begins to piece together the fragments of her memories. Someone here has a shocking secret that they will do anything to keep hidden, and Theo is in terrible danger. Because the Daltons do not lose, and discovering what happened at Idlewood may cost Theo everything. This book contains scenes that depict a miscarriage, child abuse, and mentions of domestic abuse. That does sound creepy and scary, and I'm not sure I want that uh, for my January reads, but we'll see. And then last is Isaac's Song by Daniel Black, which is a repeat author, and it's historical fiction. Journeying across memory, a man reflects on his contentious relationship with his father and the cost of forgiveness. And it says this book is melancholy. So again, I'm not sure that's what I want to read for my January, but we'll see. This is from the 80s, LGBTQ plus themes, family drama, and graphic violence. Isaac is at a crossroads in his young life. Growing up in Missouri, the son of a caustic, hard driving father, he was conditioned to suppress his artistic pursuits and physical desires, notions that didn't align with the traditional view of masculinity. But now, in late 80s Chicago, Isaac has finally carved out a life of his own. He is sensitive and tender-hearted and has built up the courage to seek out a community. Yet, just as he begins to embrace who he is, two social catalysts, the AIDS crisis and Rodney King's attack, collectively extinguish his hard earned joy. Oh man, that would be hard to deal with. At a therapist's encouragement, Isaac begins to write down his story. In the process, he taps into a creative energy that will send him on a journey back to his family, his ancestral home in Arkansas, and the inherited trauma of the nation's dark past. But a surprise discovery will either unlock the truths he's seeking or threaten to derail the life he's fought so hard to claim. Does have content warnings, contains scenes depicting sexual assault and mentions of child abuse and domestic abuse. Honestly, that sounds like a really interesting read, but again, I'm not sure I want such a sad read for my January. So I am leaning towards the favorites. The Three Lives of Kate K also sound really interesting, and Babylonia does sound really interesting, although that one I think said it had a lot of, it says gruesome. Yeah, I'm not sure I want that, but. And then the new add-ons, there were quite a lot. Because this is where it stopped for last month. So there's 7 new ones, which is a lot. So first is The House of My Mother by Shari Frankie or Frank. It's a memoir, a daughter's quest for freedom. In this shocking memoir, the daughter of a disgraced vlogger finally gets the chance to tell her side of the story. A vlogger? Who? That's interesting. Unsettling. Ugh. Buzzy, family drama, coming of age. Who's the... Okay, Sherry Frank's childhood was a constant battle for survival. Her mother, Ruby Frank, enforced a severe moral code while maintaining a facade of a picture-perfect family for their wildly popular YouTube channel 8 Passengers, which documented the day-to-day life of raising 6 children for a staggering 2.5 million subscribers. 6 children. I have not heard of these people. But a darker truth lurked beneath the surface. Ruby's wholesome online persona masked a more tyrannical parenting style than anyone could have imagined. I feel like I've heard people talk about Ruby, but I don't know this channel or anything. As the family's YouTube notoriety grew, so too did Ruby's delusions of righteousness, fueled by the sadistic influence of relationship coach Jody Hildebrandt. Together, they implemented an inhumane and merciless disciplinary regime. I don't know. Is that how you say that? Okay, we're skipping that. Ruby and Jody were arrested in Utah in 2023. Okay, I feel like I've heard of this, and it's kind of making me mad that I can't picture it. But yeah, this is very recent. I'm surprised this book. I guess this is for 2025, but they were arrested in 2023 on multiple charges of aggravated child abuse. On that fateful day, Sherry shared a photo online of a police car outside their home. Her caption had one word, finally. That's really sad. For the first time, Sherry will reveal the disturbing truth behind 8 Passengers and her family's devastating involvement with Jody Hildebrandt's cultish life coaching program, Connections. Probably is how you say that. No stone is left unturned as Sherry exposes the perils of influencer culture and shares for the first time her battle for truth and survival in the face of her mother's cruelty. That sounds like a super interesting read. I might get this. I don't know. I think that would be a really good not conspiracy, I guess. I don't know. Expose. I don't know. That's crazy. This book contains scenes that depict child abuse and mentions of sexual assault. Dude, yeah, Ruby, I've definitely heard of that. I've heard of Jodi Hildebrandt. 2023, that's so recent. I don't know, I'm really interested in this, but like, I don't know if I want to buy it. But I might because that would be an early access. Maybe.